What's something you thought only happened in movies until it actually happened to you? I was working the night shift at a gas station off Route 9. It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. Dead quiet except for the hum of the fridges and some trucker filling up diesel outside. This guy walks in wearing a black hoodie, hands in his pockets, sunglasses at 2 in the morning, every red flag you can imagine. I straightened up behind the counter. My hand moved closer to the panic button we had installed under the register. He walked straight to the ATM in the corner, stood there for maybe 30 seconds, then he turned around and walked toward me. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. He stopped right in front of the counter, pulled his hands out of his pockets. I'm not going to lie, I thought this was it. This was the moment I'd been dreading for 3 years working this job, but he just placed a $20 bill on the counter and said, "Pump 7. I rang him up. My hands were shaking. He noticed. "You okay, man?" he asked. I nodded. Didn't trust my voice. He took his change and walked out, got in his car, drove away. I stood there feeling like an idiot for being so paranoid. Told myself to calm down. It was just some guy getting gas. 20 minutes later, the door chimed again. Same black hoodie, same sunglasses. But this time he had a gun. He didn't say anything at first, just pointed it at my face. I put my hands up, exactly like they trained us. Don't be a hero. Give them whatever they want. Register now. His voice was shaking worse than mine. I opened it, started pulling out bills, 20s, 10s, 5s, putting them on the counter. That's when I heard it. A car door slam outside. Footsteps. The guy with the gun heard it too. He spun around. A woman walked in, late 50s, wearing scrubs like she just got off a hospital shift. She froze when she saw the gun. "Get down!" The guy screamed at her. "Get on the floor!" She didn't move, just stared at him. That's when she said the craziest thing I've ever heard. "Kevin? Kevin Miller?" The guy with the gun went completely still. She took a step closer. I wanted to scream at her to stop, to run, to do anything but walk toward a man holding a gun. "Kevin, what are you doing?" She said it like she was disappointed. Not scared, disappointed. The gun lowered, just a little. "Mrs. Patterson?" His voice cracked. She walked right up to him. Didn't stop until she was 2 feet away from the barrel of that gun. "I taught you in 3rd grade. You brought me apples from your grandma's tree. You wrote me that card when my husband died." The guy, Kevin, was breathing heavy now. The gun was shaking in his hand. "This isn't you." She said it so calm, like they were having coffee. "You don't know me," he said, but there was no force behind it. "I know you were a sweet boy who loved dinosaurs and helped other kids with their math. I know your mama raised you better than this." He started crying. Actually crying. Gun still in his hand but pointed at the floor now. Mrs. Patterson reached out and gently took the gun from him. Just lifted it out of his hand like she was taking a toy from a toddler. He collapsed, right there on the floor, sobbing into his hands. She sat down next to him, put her arm around his shoulders. "What happened, baby?" she asked. "Talk to me." He told her everything. How he lost his job 6 months ago, how his girlfriend left and took their daughter, how he couldn't pay child support and the court was going to send him to jail, how he'd been sleeping in his car for 3 weeks, how he came in the first time to buy gas but couldn't do it, couldn't go through with robbing me, so he paid and left. But he came back because he was desperate. Mrs. Patterson just listened, held him while he cried. When the cops showed up 15 minutes later, she vouched for him, told them he didn't hurt anyone, that he needed help, not jail. They arrested him anyway. That's protocol. But Mrs. Patterson followed them to the station. She called his mom, got him a lawyer, started a fundraiser at her church to help with his legal fees. I had to give a statement, had to testify later when it went to court. Kevin got probation and mandatory counseling instead of prison. The judge said it was because of Mrs. Patterson's testimony, because she saw something in him worth saving. Last month, I saw Kevin at the grocery store. He was wearing a uniform, working as a stock clerk. We made eye contact. He looked terrified, like he thought I was going to run or call the cops or something. I just nodded at him. He nodded back. Mrs. Patterson told me later that he'd been clean for 8 months, that he was seeing his daughter again, that he was doing okay. I thought about it a lot after. How in movies, there's always some big dramatic moment where someone talks down the bad guy, and it always seems so fake. But I watched it happen in real life. Watched a teacher from 20 years ago walk into a robbery and turn it into something else entirely. She died last year. Heart attack. Kevin spoke at her funeral. He talked about the night at the gas station, about how she saved his life, how she never gave up on him even when he'd given up on himself. I still work nights sometimes, still get nervous when someone walks in wearing a hoodie, but I also think about Mrs. Patterson, about how she saw a scared kid instead of a criminal, how sometimes the bravest thing you can do is see the person underneath the worst moment of their life.